canola one. So we could produce soybeans in there and make more money. Anyway, let's jump back in the tractor. We have a full load. Like I said, I thought barley was a light crop, comparatively speaking. Again, I don't know how close we are to overloading or reaching the trailer's maximum weight capacity with barley, but it's the interesting thing with using the trailer weights, whatever it's called. Still struggling up the hill, but we can move more of it. So 41,000. But yeah, see because the problem with having productions now is we need stuff that can pick up pallets in multiple locations. So we need an ability to move them. Move our lifters between the locations, and obviously you don't want to be running a telly truck down the road because it's not particularly fast. It's designed for use in a yard, picking stuff up. Similar with a skid steer. You're looking to pick stuff up within a yard and move it around the yard. You're not looking to take it out on the highway. But you still want something that can haul between locations. So do you have a... Yeah, now that we've got the yard, we've got the flour mill and potentially the bakery sometime within the next year. That does mean I want 3 points for loading. And so I want 3 loaders. Struggle up the hill, and we are here. Anyway. I think sadly, because of the way this map is arranged, workers do not play well. So I can't set up a worker to collect all the barley from the farm silo and bring it down here and unload it. The worker would just get totally confused and lost. I guess we should get out and turn on the barley. Now the advantage with having 2 things producing means that the flour is going to, I think the flour is going to increase in rate of production. I know some of the productions will share their productions between the stuff in them. So for example, you get 600 and 3600 of wheat. But if you're producing both, you'll get 300 cycles of barley and 1800 cycles of wheat potentially. While other production facilities produce everything at maximum. So I don't know what the flour mill is, whether it's a distributed production or whether it's multiple production lines. I guess if you think about it, does it have one production line where it's running either or through, so it splits production 50-50 for the month, or is it 4 production lines? If you deliver a wheat, then that production line runs. If you deliver barley as well, then 2 of the production lines run. I don't know, but I did know. It might have been Simulation for the Nation did a whole bunch of testing on productions, and he did find that some productions were total production for the month, where others were production for each source. Anyway, we won't worry too much about that. We will just produce flour because it's lucrative, more lucrative than selling grains. So, yeah. It produces flour as and when it can, and and we'll deal with it as it happens. Now, being a production, we're going to use the same rule as we do for our greenhouse, in that we need to do something with that flour once a month. So we just turned it on this month. We must either transfer the flour to the bakery or sell what's there in January. That's the rules that we are going to play by. That's the thing. Now, wasn't one of these is this? This is a manure spreader or grain cart. Obviously, you probably don't want to put grain in it after you've used it as a manure spreader. Isn't there a semi-trailer? I don't know. For transporting stuff. Header trailers, miscellaneous. I'm not seeing it. No loaders. Also, probably not going to use a semi-truck on this map because of the tight lanes. It's just going to be difficult to maneuver a semi-truck in and out of here, in and out of most of the production facilities. So we're really going to be stuck with either carts like this or all in one truck. So something like US style 10-wheeler. But I think I might add the TLX 2020 to this game save and potentially make use of that for transporting dry goods between places. So I think that we got that telly truck on a sale, on a store sale. And I bought it earlier than I wanted to. It was sort of, I'm probably going to need this, but I don't need it right away, but we'll buy it anyway because I'm probably going to need this very soon. That was my thinking there. I wasn't thinking I was going to go into production quite this early. But to be perfectly honest, it makes sense too. So I'm going to need another lifter of some type. I could transfer the telly truck over to the grain mill and just leave that there, because we still have 2 front loader tractors that I can use for oh dear, I've got front loader tractors that I can use on the farm to shuffle bales and tomatoes around with. So that could be the way to go there. Then we have to see how much stuff is produced. Oh, that silly little blue low loader is only haulable by a tractor though. I could get the car trailer that tips up and use that for transporting stuff between places. Obviously Land Rover's a little bit quicker than our little Massey. So what am I thinking? Yeah, we got this thing, which was a good deal, but kind of stuck for, whereas I think miscellaneous, this thing would transfer. You know, you hitch that on the back of the Land Rover, we can put stuff on the back of it. What's that? Yeah, it's a truck. Oh, there it is. So you can use that to transport the big stuff. But like I said, it's a semi-trailer, and I don't think that's going to work well. I did get that. Only transports 3,000 litres. That can be used to transfer stuff like pig food around the yard. We used something similar on Ungertheim in Farm Sim 19 to sort of move grains around the place without needing, when I didn't need something this big. We fed the chickens. We kept the wheat in the silo, but just filled that little 3-point hitch carrier on the back and dumped the wheat into the chicken feed area, and it doubled up as a shovel, so that was also kind of cool. Anyway, I think we've still got 2 loads of barley to move. Although that said, now that we own the production, I don't have to fill it up completely. We've got probably enough there to last us a few days at least, possibly a few months. So it's sort of, keep it topped up, but you don't have to, fill it. I'm going to, but just as a thought. The other thing with having productions is it does mean that, one, you're increasing the value of your crop, but it acts as a storage facility. So you can, rather than buying a silo on your farm, you can say, I'm not buying a silo, I'm just going to deliver all of my stuff to the flour mill as it's harvest off the field. And we'll sell flour when it's good value, but we'll keep it at the flour mill. I think the best example for that is sugar beets, because you can. There's no in-game storage for sugar beets, whereas 5,000. So we've still got 2 more loads to go. But you can take your sugar beets down to the sugar mill and turn them into sugar, and you don't have a pile of sugar beets sitting in the farm like we did that year in what was it, Oakfield Farm. Although that said, I think the sugar mill only takes 300,000 litres of sugar beets, so you've got to find somewhere to put the rest of them if you are harvesting million-litre crops per year. So, there's a mulcher, there was a cultivator. Yeah, I think later on, if we had 350, 400 horsepower tractor on the farm and some equipment, and I thought, you know what, having a cultivator might be a nice idea, I would have bought that cultivator at that point, but there's really no point buying it when we don't have the equipment that can use it. I mean, even a big seeders, if the Bollgalt seeder came up, yes, I want that, but this tractor would struggle with it. But we're borderline saying, you know what, yeah, maybe. Something smaller, yeah, with 250, well, not 250, 200 horsepower piece of equipment. If I'm going to make use of it soon, then absolutely, because I've got the tractor for it. Now, I think we're generally looking for bigger equipment. I probably won't get rid of much of the small stuff. I might get rid of that John Deere seeder, just because we're going bigger with stuff. But if we got a small harvester and then we got the opportunity to increase, or the need to increase the size of our harvester, I would probably keep the small one anyway, because some of these fields are very difficult to get into, and trying to get a big harvester with a 40-foot header through the gate might not work until you've cleared out some of the entrance. So having a small harvester that you can just drive in and clear out the gate area could be an excuse to keep something like that. Plus, if we buy it on sale, it's not going to be worth a lot when you come to sell it. I didn't want to press that button. But I mean, for example, this tractor's worth 36,000 for a 250 horsepower tractor, brand new. It's worth, in its base configuration, Series 7 TTV, that one, 221. So would I sell the tractor I have? I need 200,000, over 200,000 to replace it. Especially when you consider, it's only worth 36. So I need 200,000 to just replace this tractor. So if we buy a bigger tractor, I'm not selling this one, because it's really not going to make a huge amount of difference. And obviously this tipper's used, our flat bale trailer is used. I think the 5S was used. So yeah, when you've got a lot of used equipment, it's sort of, well, I could sell it, but the only reason I'm selling it is because I don't have the space to store it. You know, other arguments aside, it's sort of, well, I might as well keep it because it's not worth anything to sell. Now, I can't remember if I've got as the sort of the maintenance, enhanced maintenance mod, whatever it's called, that basically makes it such that if you let your tractor's condition get to 0%, it will not start. And the lower the condition gets, it may stall on you and you have to restart it. Obviously, as the tractors get older and they wear out faster, then we may end up in a situation where, you know, just for sanity, I need to replace this tractor with the equivalent because, quite frankly, it's just too much hassle keeping this one serviced. So we may get to that point sometimes, but I think as the farm's expanding, we're just going to buy what we actually need as we need it and go from there. So as I said, we do need a bigger tractor. I think we're okay with the grain cart. We're okay with, I mean, that bale collector is absolutely fine. Our windrower, you know, to be perfectly honest, I'm going to keep that rake because it is sufficient to get into fields. Now, it may be a little bit of a pain on our grass fields because they're so big, comparatively speaking. We could run a big windrower on our fields, but I couldn't justify, or I couldn't get a big windrower in some of the fields that we are contracting on. They just don't fit. Having a mower system that rows works well, but then you've got to consider if you're making hay, you can't row the grass that you're cutting because you need to ted it first. So I think that, you know, the way this map is set up, there are opportunities to use big equipment, but there are also situations where, frankly, you still need the small stuff, especially in the mowing contract world, because there's a lot of animal fields, sheep fields, cow fields that need to be mowed and really don't have much space. They're not very big. They have walls and hedges around the outside, and you just, some small kit to run around with is absolutely fine. There's a swather that has a conditioner. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the rake I have is good for small stuff, and eventually we will get to the point where we'll get ourselves a big windrower just because of our two big grass, or what I intend to be eventually our two big grass fields. Our one big grass field and the contract field that we're currently doing could use a bigger windrower, but frankly there's not enough justification and too many demands for other stuff that the farm needs higher priority on than buying a big giant windrower. Because at this stage, yeah, we are still relying on contract income, and I think contract income is is quite a significant part of our farm operating at this point. And we can probably prove that with sold bales. Well, we'd sold a lot then, but yeah, we're getting about, well, that includes sold bales at contracts. But contract income, you look at that, we're doing 50,000 to 100,000 on contracts per month, with supplemental on bales. Obviously, I think that is a lot of silage bales sold from contracts. I think we ended up doing hay contracts here, and then we buffered it up with a good 20 silage bales every month from our own field. But sold, what have we done this month? Harvest income, 5,900 from about 10,000 in oats. That's really not a lot. So kind of looking at where does our income come from, and our income comes from contracts and come on, scroll. Our contracts are coming from, you know, field 129, field 89, field 90, 91, 95. These are not fields that are easy to get into. If I jump over there, you know, you have to get your equipment through a gate that's that big. And then you have hedges all the way along the edge, so it doesn't give you a lot of clearance. So having the smaller machinery and the 125 there, yeah, it could be that for some situations that 125 is our contract tractor rather than the Deutz. Especially since the Deutz is our heavy, you know, it's our farm heavy tractor at the moment. It's not going to be forever, but it is currently our heavy tractor. So we need it for cultivating and seeding and stuff like that, and hauling. We'll keep the John Deere bush mower, whatever it is, because it has the option to what's the word for it? Mulch. So currently it's permanently on mowing setup, and whenever I do a harvest, I'll switch it over to mulching, mulch the field, and then straight back to mowing